If Marcus Aurelius had a credit card, he likely would have destroyed it as an act of discipline. This was a man who commanded the strongest empire on earth, yet chose to sleep on hard floors, eat modest meals, and remind himself daily that everything, even wealth, is temporary. Now place him inside a modern shopping mall, surrounded by buy now pay later deals, targeted ads, and endless dopamine triggers. He would probably stop and ask a question we no longer dare to ask. When did freedom start costing this much? We live in an age where financial instability feels normal, where debt is accepted as part of life, where discipline is treated as outdated. And yet, nearly 2,000 years ago, one of history's most powerful figures wrote a private manual on how to stay calm, rational, and grounded during collapse. He wasn't writing for attention. He wasn't writing for approval. He was writing to survive. That book became Meditations, and hidden within it is a financial mindset more radical and more urgent today than ever before. Marcus Aurelius was born in 121 AD into extraordinary privilege, elite education, inherited wealth, eventually absolute power. But instead of becoming corrupted by it, he became a philosopher king, guided by Stoicism, a philosophy centered on virtue, restraint, and reason. Marcus trained himself to expect hardship, accept loss, and detach from the illusion of control. He endured plagues, wars, betrayal, and economic decline. Yet his writings remain precise, steady, almost brutally clear. His objective was never comfort. It was mastery of the mind. At the peak of Rome's dominance, when luxury goods flooded the empire from every known land, Marcus deliberately chose simplicity. He warned against excess. He distrusted praise. He believed true wealth existed only within the ability to live with integrity while the world unraveled. It's no surprise Stoicism is resurging today. But there's a problem. We cherry-pick Stoic quotes for social media while ignoring the economic machine Marcus was defending himself against. A machine that has since grown far more aggressive. Because today's system isn't merely unstable. It is deliberately designed to keep you financially stressed and emotionally distracted. Personal debt has reached historic highs. Credit card interest rates exceed 20%. Financial literacy remains dangerously low. And every digital platform you use is engineered to encourage spending, comparison, and impulsive behavior. The result is a society that looks wealthy but lives paycheck to paycheck. A generation more anxious, less secure, and more easily influenced than any before it. A system that survives not by creating real prosperity, but by profiting from emotional instability. This is where Stoicism becomes dangerous in the best possible way. Stoicism doesn't eliminate emotion. It teaches you not to be ruled by it, especially when it comes to money. The Stoics understood that while external events are uncontrollable, markets, disasters, wars, your response is always yours. Marcus reminded himself daily that loss, death, and poverty were natural, that unchecked desire created suffering, that self-discipline was the foundation of freedom. These were not abstract ideas. They were survival tools, and they still work. Imagine handling money the way Marcus handled power. Not chasing status. Not panicking during downturns. Not upgrading your life every time marketing tells you to. Understanding that financial freedom doesn't come from accumulation. It comes from needing less. This philosophy goes far beyond minimalism. It threatens the modern economy itself. Because if enough people stop overconsuming, the system fractures. Our economy depends on credit, consumption, and endlessly expanding desire. The idea of enough is dangerous. Restraint isn't profitable. And yet restraint was Marcus's strength. He viewed luxury not as a reward, but as a test. He believed comfort weakened character, that entitlement eroded the soul, that the only real wealth was the kind no one could take from you. Today, wealth is measured externally: cars, homes, numbers on screens. Marcus would have called that a mirage. He would remind us that true wealth is the ability to remain calm when those things disappear. And that ability is increasingly rare in a world where a single market dip causes mass panic, a rate hike destroys family budgets, and a few minutes of scrolling can convince you your life isn't enough. We are not only financially overextended, we are emotionally exposed. We treat abundance as normal and discomfort as failure. But for the Stoics, discomfort was training. Marcus practiced voluntary hardship, sleeping without comfort, skipping meals, reminding himself that pain wasn't the enemy. Dependency was. Dependency on comfort, on validation, on outcomes. Now apply this to money. Instead of reacting to volatility, you prepare for it. Instead of chasing predictions, you build reserves. Instead of inflating your lifestyle, you reduce fragility. You stop trying to out-earn anxiety and start questioning why money was supposed to cure it. You stop measuring success by net worth and start measuring it by inner stability. That is Stoic finance. And it may be the only form of finance that survives prolonged chaos. Look around. Inflation has returned. Governments continue borrowing beyond reason. Central banks are trapped between printing money and repairing the damage it causes. Meanwhile, most people have no real savings, only hope that someone else knows what they're doing. History tells us hope is never a strategy. Marcus would not have waited for rescue. He wouldn't have blamed the system, even if it was broken. He would have focused on the only thing within reach: his mind, his habits, his expectations. That's where your power begins too. You don't need to become a financial genius to build freedom. You need clarity. What do you actually need? What are you afraid of losing? And why? What are you chasing and who taught you to want it? Most people never ask these questions. They simply play the game they inherited. But you're here because you sense something doesn't add up. Because the version of success you were sold benefits everyone except you. And maybe what you need isn't another app, another side hustle, or another loud finance guru. Maybe you need ancient wisdom, spoken quietly, practiced daily. When markets panic, breathe. When prices rise, simplify. When your feed demands consumption, decline. When fear tells you to react, pause. Because financial freedom was never about income. It's about ownership of yourself. Marcus Aurelius never owned a credit card. But he understood the cost of being owned by desire. And he understood the reward of mastering it. That is real wealth. That is real freedom. And that is how you survive chaos, ancient or modern. If this shifted your perspective, subscribe. History has already lived through what's coming. I'll help you learn from it,